Welcome to the Hired Not Fired podcast, brought to you by The Real Me, the soft skills first talent solution that helps employers hire entry level employees with better developed soft skills such as communication, problem solving, or emotional intelligence. Join us as we sit down with hiring managers, talent leaders, and others and get insider tips to help Gen Z stand out and get hired. Let's dive in. Welcome to this week's episode of Hired Not Fired, and I am excited to introduce our guest this week. I have Rex Trewin. With over 30 years of university relations experience, Rex is the original triple threat of the industry: university career center experience, employer experience, and vendor experience. Having previously been on the board of directors for GACE, SACE, last year before the merger, and MBA CSEA. He has been helping companies and universities globally achieve their goals of bringing the right talent to the right employers at the right time. Currently, Rex is the Assistant Vice President of Early Careers at Wells Fargo. Welcome to the show, Rex.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we are really excited to have you here because I'm sure many of our listeners are interested in banking and would like to hear what's it like to be an early career employee at a bank. What kind of roles and positions do you hire for?
Like almost any type of company, we have a plethora of different type of opportunities. And one of the things I usually try to tell students is just because you're not in the business school does not mean that there's not a role for you here. You'd probably be surprised how many non-business majors I've hired, art majors, French majors, over my careers. There's a lot of different opportunities. There are the traditional things like your investment banking and your finance and stuff, but I tend to work on right now on our enterprise side of the house, which is the non-revenue producing folks. That would be including things like our our audit system, our internal finance, our corporate properties. So anything under our chief administrative office or chief operating office, and things that I've also focused more a lot on the risk side of the house. So are things under control management, regulatory stuff. So a lot of those things, when you start getting into the regulatory things and control management, we look at all majors because we're just looking for folks with more of attention to detail and kind of can smell it when something's not right and will follow through with it.
Wow, that is a wide variety of positions, and I love it. So, what are some reasons that a new grad might choose to go into banking?
Some of the reasons why they should probably choose banking or even with Wells Fargo is um, we've got a very strong program. If the student starts off with us as an intern, you're talking about having a summer program with us, and then when they graduate, they join us for 2 years after that. And so by the time you're really going through the two and extra, you've gone through several different rotations of different parts of the bank,
Mhm.
and you really get a good feeling and understanding for what your role is and what you're going to be doing. So, and most folks are just promoted out of the program. So after 2 years, so those folks that really might have an idea what they want to do, but maybe
Mhm.
not quite all the details of going into a bank that's very organized and has a lot more structure to it, and that structure really provides a good opportunity to be for learning and growth that a lot of other industries don't really have. Well, we have a whole team that helps teach you and make sure that you're successful all the way through.
Well, that's great. That's important, especially for those early career days. Now, there's something that we hear a lot of people talking about: career ready. Is Gen Z career ready? Are they not career ready? So, you've had so much experience from all sides, right? From the student side, the employer side. Let me ask you, how do employers define career readiness versus how students think about it?
It's very interesting because I can see the disconnect sometimes because the employers really want them to be great responses for leadership, great responses for teamwork stuff, communication, things like that. And the students don't always think of all the things they've done in the university and their classes and in their volunteer stuff as being responses to those questions.
Mhm.
And so there's been conversations around competencies where a student can know from their experiences at school, either from their classes or from programs, workshops they've worked on, their student organizations, and they pull those skills out so that when I ask a question about teamwork during the interview process, they can go, "Oh, yes, I did a teamwork project in my student organization." and able to respond to it that way.
That is a message that we hear frequently from employers, that they're looking for experience, but a lot of this experience they do have from extracurricular activities,
Yep.
Projects, volunteer, and their part-time jobs. Now, another thing that I've heard you mention is the hidden curriculum of campus recruiting. What are some of the unwritten rules that students are rarely taught?
I'm dealing with thousands of resumes and hundreds of thousands of students sometimes. So it takes me time to go through all this. I'm still human. So it's making sure that you stay on top of like our deadlines. Banking is traditionally very early in our recruiting process. We start like really the summer before their summer internship for so if they're going to be doing their summer internship next summer, we would have started posting those jobs in early June of this year, of this past
Wow.
year. So
Wow.
yes, so
Hmm.
we're recruiting that far in advance, and that's usually by the time October 1st or even November 1st at the latest. I'm done. I'm done with internship recruiting for the following summer. And
Hmm.
so when students are coming to me in the spring, they might be an incredible student, but they missed the boat. So knowing differences in different industries when they're recruiting is essential to make sure that you're going to get your top choices.
Hmm.
That's one thing, and but also show up when we have an event, show up. When there's a virtual thing, turn your camera on so I can see you. It's amazing how many students still don't turn their camera on and stuff. So I don't see what they look like, and I don't. Not that I need to know, but it helps me remember who you are. And if I remember who you are, you made an impact on me, and you're more likely to get passed through to things. And
Yeah.
so just show up. I keep track of when they come to our career fair, we come to the info session, and those things all count towards who we end up making a hire to. And it sometimes comes down to that. Did that person come to a career fair and come to our info session, and somebody who didn't? That's sometimes what it comes down to: who gets the job and who doesn't. Those things are really critical to make sure that you're it's showing up and showing out.
Yeah. It's so hard. You want to stand out, and that's an easy way to stand out is to show up. So yeah. What
Ex-
are
Yep.
what are some of the common mistakes that strong candidates make?
Um, Being late to your interview,
Mm.
being overly confident in an interview. Sometimes you can come off a little cocky. You really want to come off as being genuine and authentic. I can tell the difference when somebody's not, because I've been doing this too long. So, and I want somebody who really genuinely wants to be part of their team and be part of it, but is also bringing their authentic self to the process.
Mhm.
The other thing is AI happens so fast that I've had caught students that have recorded the question as I'm asking it, and the AI has regurgitated a response to them instantaneously
Oh,
on a separate
wow.
screen.
Mhm.
How I taught them is, I wear glasses, you wear glasses. I can see the reflection of the other monitor in their glasses.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So little
Wow.
things like that. So again, be authentic. Just give me your heart, because I'm not going to hire AI. I'm going to hire you.
Right.
So make sure to practice ahead of time. Practice these interviews, and you can tell the students that have practiced a little bit and ones that just kind of winged it.
It's great advice, and I talk a lot about AI. It's got so many benefits and potential benefits, but knowing how to use it appropriately is key. It's like, you know what, use AI to do your research, get to
Mhm.
know the company, get to know the people who's interviewing, but leave it off when you get to the interview.
Before you do an interview, read the job description. How many people just read the title and think they know the job? Just read the job. Everything's right there in the job description. So
Yeah.
I'm going to make it pretty easy for you. And that's going to really help you out with getting through the process. And then that way you know about the role up front. Because I'm now starting to get those students that have used AI to find these jobs for them. I'm doing the work and making the match for them. Oh, you're a match. Oh, I am. Oh, yay. But then they're using the interview process to get to know the job. And so by the time that we're finished, and I'm about to make an offer, I've had students go, oh, no, it's not for me.
Wow.
I have just so many times I get to meet with students. I have so many schedules I can have. So that student took something away from someone who might have been
A
eh,
better match.
did want the job. So
Mhm.
do research ahead of time and stuff and like that, and don't use my process to do your research. Please, I mean, you learn about the job. We'll learn together, but we come to it with some basic knowledge of it, so that way you know this could be something you want to do, and not use my time to find out that's not what you want to do.
Right. Well, those are some great stories, great piece of advice, and it's something that we do hear a lot from many employers. They want you to do your research before the interview. They want you to show up authentically. Thank you so much, Rex. I would love to have you back because there's another topic that I know that's close to your heart that I'd love to talk more about, and that's the idea of experiential learning.
Oh,
So
yes.
you'll come back and we'll talk about that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've started off with as a co-op developer at SAUE was my first job, so
Ah.
it's been ever since I've been touting experiential learning as a great opportunity to get to know companies' jobs and what you want to do.